Welcome everyone to tonight's call by Regal Unlimited with our very, very senior mentor, Mr. Srinath Ramakrishnan. And today we're talking about renewing our credentials, whether it's your ACC credential or whether it's your PCC credential, we all need renewals. So we're going to be talking about why it's important, how do you do it, how it's so easy, you don't need to get confused. And I think in the next half an hour, 25 minutes, you'll have so much more clarity because like I said, we have Srinath, and over to you, Srinath.
Thank you so much, Shweta. Thank you all. You're welcome to this session on credential renewal. What is it all about? So let me share my screen. The whole thing is a question which comes up. I was talking to a few others earlier. Why should I renew my credentials? Basically, renew credential is an investment in your growth and credibility, and also talks about your commitment to coaching excellence, right? It's one thing to get your ACC or PCC credential, but maintaining it is important as well. Also, you also talk to your clients saying that you are looking at continuous learning and delivering highest service standards as specified by ICF. Right? So that is why I try to renew credentials every 3 years. So why renew credentials? The purpose of credential renewal, basically saying that you're maintaining credential standing. Holders must submit the application and require documentation for CCEUs, we'll come to that later, before your expiration date. So let's say you have completed, you've done your ACC on, say, 1st April to 2022 for that matter, right? It'll come for renewal this year, right? Before the end of this year, before the end of April, you have to submit your renewal application, pay a specific fee for it. We'll come to that as well. And also submit your what is called CCEUs, core competency CC units, right? Core competency units along with your application, right? Again, a 2-month grace period is allowed, provided following your expiration date, pending review of your renewal. So let's say by end of June, you still don't renew your credential, your certification is no longer active, and your name will not appear in the ICF coaching registry. And the coach should stop using all your credential logos and marks, right, next to his name, for example, in LinkedIn. So that is your grace period. However, you can still renew your credentials for up to a year from your expiration date. But then the number of CCUs go up, in a prorated manner till the end of first year, right? For example, you must complete 40 CCUs in the 3 years since the first award of your credential or since your last renewal. So, for example, I was in ACC for the last, I did my ACC in 2014. I did my 2 renewals of ACC, and then I got the PCC a couple of years back. So, which means that I've renewed, every time you renew a credential, ACC or PCC or even MCC, you must have these 40 CCUs completed during that 3-year period. Again, the question is, how does the 40 CCUs split? Now, 24 CCUs should be in the core competencies, right? And core competencies basically that map to your ICF core competencies. And 16 of those, maximum of 16 of those, can be in resource development, right? Which means that the resource development competencies, CCUs under this, will mean something on, for example, business development, or your coaching assessment tool or tool development, or anything on tools for that matter. All those which are not core competency per se goes into resource development. And also mandatorily, you must have 3 credits in coaching ethics. Again, coaching ethics is easy to get 3 credits because we have in the ICF website itself a complimentary ethics online course, which probably takes you 3 hours to complete. So once you complete that, you get 3 credits, which is mandatory for coaching ethics, right? And then the core company, I'll let you know later on in a couple slides later on as how you can get these core competencies. Right. So those are the breakup of your 40 CCUs. The renewal fees for an ICF member is $175. And for a non-member, it is $275. So it makes sense to be a member when you renew your ICF credential. Right. Additionally, for an ACC, for renewal, besides your 40 CC credits required, you also need to have 10 hours of mentor coaching over a period of 3 months with an eligible mentor coach. Right. Again, Regal has the ability to get the mentor coaching through Regal. But ideally, if you're outside Regal, members are encouraged to verify a mentor coach's credential using the ICF Verify a Coach registry or directory. Okay, so I'll go through these slides first, and I'll have time for all your questions. How do you earn your CC hours? ICF ethics course is one. I talked about 3 hours. You get the 3 CC directly. You have ICF communities practice events, ICF learning portal, which is there. Again, for those of you not heard about this, good to explore this because you have a lot of these webinars which are live, then recorded, and they get CCUs for attending those webinars and answering a few questions. So this is what is called learning portal. Attending ICF chapter webinars. So in India, all the chapters have got at least one webinar a month. Attending them for the 1 hour or 1.5 hours will get you CCUs and the RD, resource development units, depending on how much they have, for each of these webinars. Right. Attending an ICF regional or global conferences. We had recently a conference in ICF conclave in Hyderabad. In case you attend those, you also get those CCUs for the number of hours you spend there. Any ICF accredited coach education program or training program. If you are part of the ICF board, you can get probably two CCUs in a year. Let's say part of the ICF global board or even part of the ICF local chapter, get up to 2 CCUs in a year. Besides, you also get earn your CCU hours part of mentor coaching or as part of coaching supervision. Now, so this is all ICF approved. You also could get RDs, resource development units, through coach education, not accredited by ICF. You could also do some e-learning courses and any reading or even watching videos or writing or published work, not on social media though. But problem with all the ones on the right is that they require explicit documentation when you submit them to the ICF. Right. So, for example, reading a book or watching a video will mean that you write a summary of what you have read and how has it impacted you as an ICF professional. So all this time would be taken in as part of only resource development units. Okay. Finally, your credential renewal application, which is important. All of you have just finished your ACC or PCC, will have a renewal application created as soon as your credential is awarded or renewed. A good practice is to input your CCUs as soon as you earn them. Because you could attend a lot of webinars, right? Get your CCUs, but then you probably store in some folder and you might even forget them later on. Good practice to update enter CCUs as soon as you earn them onto the ICF website. So to add CCUs, log into ICF profile. I'll probably show this in a while. Under my credentials, look into application renewal application link. Look at the coaching continuing coach education tab and enter hours to begin logging your ICC hours. So very short overview of what is credential renewal and the quick process about it. So before I show you your demo, I'm open to questions you might have.
I had one. This is Anu here.
Sure.
Hi, Srinath.
I
Srinath, I missed the first couple of minutes, and I know I can always go back and listen to the recording, but I just wanted to check the first part of that CCU. The maximum was around the core competencies, and
right.
how do you, how do I kind of get those CCUs?
Right. So CCUs you can get by attending these webinars from various chapters.
Okay.
Right. Also in the learning portal, which I'll show you in a while. Attend these the various webinars already there in the learning portal. You can get those CCUs or RDs in that. Right. And also, for example, attending, we will have that Coaching Unlimited, a program which is coming up shortly in Colombo. Attending that will get you 38 CCUs directly.
Okay.
Right. So those are some of the various avenues we can get your CCUs. I'll probably share that. I think once once you have other questions coming up, I'll probably share with you where you can look up the learning portal, and also enter your CCU hours, because some of you would have completed a year of your credential passing and getting your credential. It's good practice to upload your CCU hours probably on a regular basis, so that you don't find it a struggle to get 40 hours, 40 CCUs to the end of your cycle is over.
Sure. Thank you, Srinath.
So can I ask another question or kind of add to this? Because when I was talking to you, can I?
Sure, please.
So the last time when we were talking about it, it was this conversation where people kind of don't know. Like I also didn't know. I thought I have this time. I've just finished 1 year and I'm in of ACC. I got a mail from ICF saying, you finished 1 year, take care of your CCOs or something like that. And I was like, oh, I have 2 years to go and I'm on my PCC journey. So next year I'm going to finish it. And so why? And I attended this, like you were saying that chapters also keep doing these calls that you attend and you get 1 or 1.5 CCUs. I did one of those and I thought, I don't need it right now. So just let it go. And I think that's a huge point that you were making, that and you said it twice already, even in this 15 minutes, that it's best to keep collecting them as you go along rather than scramble at the last minute. Because you did share an episode where somebody had to scramble at the end and it was difficult also because they entered the lapse period. 3 years had ended.
Yeah.
And then they had to get additional CCUs. So I just want to bring home the point to everybody who's listening to it. And what else would you say, Srinath, to emphasize the point that it's always best to keep collecting them? You don't know, life happens sometimes and you might not be able to finish your PCC or do it at the last minute. So just going to invite you to re-emphasize that point, please.
Sure. So let me share my screen. This is something I attended from the ICF chapter in Chennai. Right? It gives me 1 CCU and 0.5 RD units. Right? So I use this to go to my learning portal. Right? Let me share my screen again. Okay. So everything is there in your, so once this is your profile page, right? So on here, once you go here.
So just to reconfirm, Srinath, this is when you go to the ICF webpage and log in with your sign-up details, you will see a profile.
Exactly. This is your profile page, right? Once you have completed a certification, credential renewal application, it comes up. Right? For me, I've got 2 because I'm both a PCC and SCTC. So click on this, right? Click on the credential renewal application. And then a page comes up here, which has a dashboard and also something called a continuous coding education hours, continuing code education hours. So when you click on that, it shows you ethics, competency, resource development, and total hours. As I mentioned earlier, you require 40 hours for a 3-year period, right? I've done something extra, so I've almost done all my requirements for the next year as well. So when you want to enter a new make a new entry, go here into education, enter education hours, right? And then say, select whichever you want to, right? Okay, let me push this down. Mentor coaching, supervision, program, course or event, reading, writing, service, research, etc. So when you attend a webinar from ICF Chennai chapter, the course and event, right? What organization's name will probably ask you for, right? What is the name, event name? Is it ICF accredited, right? Did you teach or present, etc.? The start date, end date, and this is where you do a breakup. So I've done 0.5 RD and 1 of CC, right? And then upload this file and save. We got 1.5 CCUs for the particular program. So is that clear?
Yes, Srinath.
Yeah. So that's how you get your upload your details onto the ICA website. Again, as I mentioned earlier, good practice to always upload it as soon as you get your certificate from the respective chapters or wherever you get it from. Right. The next thing I want to show you.
Ask your question.
Yes, please.
Srinath, so for example, if I'm just about renewing my ECC and I've completed the 40 hours of education, I'll follow the same process. But how do I go ahead and make sure that the 40 hours gets reflected over here? Will I use the same options?
Yes. So when we talked about uploading this, so let's say you do get some hours also from learning portal.
Yes.
Right. Use that transcript. For example, I'll show you that as well.
Right.
Use the transcript to upload that onto the website for your profile, the credential renewal, and then that reflect here in the hours for the renewal for your application as well.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah. So how many of you are aware of learning portal? Learning portal, right? The first talks about dashboard. Any program which you have registered for will come up in the calendar first, right? The catalog talks about all the various sessions, various programs which are there, right? Typically, the course topic, I say ethics, for example, ethics. I talked about 3 CCUs, right? This is the ethics CCUs. Now, ethics has undergone a change. If you're not aware, now the new ethics course will be up shortly in a couple of months, is what I understand. So this ethics course is from the previous ethics of 2020. Right? Even this is considered valid for now in case your credential is being renewed over the next couple of months. So when you complete this, you say it's completed, get a transcript from here and then upload it into your credential renewal application. So that's about ethics. Besides that, a lot of these programs, communities of practice, which are really good. So the website is not very user friendly. You go there and look only for example, career coaching, or for example, looking into executive leadership coaching, right? A lot of these programs are there, which are very, very useful, right? You can go there, launch your course, and then this probably is only coming up later on. For example, it shows that it's not yet ready. So May 6th only, right? I registered for it. So on May 6th, you go there, and then when you enroll it, you will probably have that course. You can view that live program from the ICF, on this particular topic, right? Similarly, for example, if I have something I've already completed, right? This is the launch course for this. So every session will have a recording of the video plus a learning checkpoint. Typically 3 to 4 questions based on the content covered, right? And you must get all the questions right before you go to the next stage, which is about evaluation, right? Evaluation basically saying that how good is this particular session, right? I've already completed the survey, so it doesn't come up now. So only when you complete the session, learning checkpoint, answering all the 3 or 4 questions, and the evaluation, right? Would you get the credits or the CCUs for this particular program, right? And when you say finish, that's when it reflects in your transcript, right? So where is your transcript? This is your transcript. So when you go here, let's say you want to look at, for example, you've done a few programs, let's say from the month of February for that matter, right? So go here. Right, till today, print transcript, it'll come up. And this is what you uploaded to your application, saying that these are the total of CCUs and the total of RDs there. And this you can upload, save this PDF file, upload the PDF file onto your application as well. Right? So ideally, you can get all your CCUs by going through Learning Portal itself. Of course, for ACCs, you must have the mentoring hours as well, which is given by a mentor for the 10 hours of mentoring, which is provided for a period of 3 months. Okay, so any questions on Learning Portal and transcript? Yes, Satyajit.
Srinath, the 3 CCUs are the CCUs which you get to do, by doing the ethics course online, correct?
Sorry, come again, please.
The 3 CCUs are for ethics. So what you said that you go for the ethics course and do that, okay? But
Correct.
then for ACC there's a mentoring, okay? So then I have to approach the mentor or
yeah. So as I mentioned in that deck, right, there is a mentor registry as part of ICF. You can look that up. Regal is a certified mentor register, is part of the mentor group. So you can approach Regal to get your 10 hours of mentoring in case for purposes of ACC renewal.
okay. And then there are other hours, and so total hours has to be 40, right? Mentoring 10 hours, 3 ethics, correct? And then the others are for development, all webinars or whatever. And then there are some resource development which is blank, but the total has to be 40. So what is that resource?
So, for example, the one example I showed you as part of my application, I mean the CCU I got from ICF Chennai chapter had one core competency unit CCU and one RD, 0.5 RD, right?
Okay.
So typically CCUs refer to core competencies, refer to pure ICF core competencies. RDs refer to anything which are not ICF core competencies, but typically for your, for example, in terms of your anything on related to assessment or anything other than core competencies form part of RD, resource development units.
Okay. So like recently I attended Mumbai chapter, like you have, and then ICF All India. So these are core competencies, CCUs, or?
No, they'll send you a certificate, Satyajit. For example, when ICF Mumbai chapter sends you one, which I shared with you earlier, I'll share it again. Right? Typically, any certificate coming from this chapter will have a breakup of CCU and RD units.
Oh, okay. So RD units are not compulsory, right? These are just.
No. So they make up. So 24 CCUs are mandatory, right? For ACCs, 10 hours is mandatory. Mentoring hours is mandatory. The rest and 3 ethics are mandatory. The rest can be made up to RDs or even core competencies.
Okay, and 10 are mandatory. The mentoring is also mandatory. Right?
Mentoring for ACC is mandatory.
Okay.
Right? For example, this is one I showed you earlier. Right? I have one CCU and 1.5 RDU. Right? So that's how you get a certificate from any chapter event you attend. For example, since you attended the ICF Global Conclave in Hyderabad, you can also get a CCU certificate from them.
Yeah. And Srinath, if this all CCUs, I mean, you have earned before, like I am a member of coaching.com, and there also I have earned CCUs before the exam, before ACC clearance.
No, it's after this whole clock starts after you get your credential. Right, Shelly, Shweta, any other questions coming up for you?
I think that we've covered the part of how to do it. And again, we'll be sharing the video for everybody who's watching later, for sure. we really haven't gone through the importance, Srinath. What would you say is the importance? Because I've also heard some people say that, I didn't renew my license because I didn't think it was necessary. I've gotten it once, and then what is the need for me to have that certification? Because I have my clients, I have my practice. So what is the importance and what is the need for you to have these CCUs, renew your credentials? Would you like to quickly tell us the importance of that, please?
Sure. So ICF is very, very strict on this. So if you don't renew credential within the 3-year period, as I mentioned earlier, you got a 2-month extension, right? Beyond which your name will not appear in the ICF coach registry, right? But they still have a grace period for you to update, send your CCUs and application till expiry of 1 year from your expiration of credential. So let's say your credential expires in April 2022, right? And you don't renew your certification, credential rather, right? They give you two more months for you to upload your send your application, credential renewal application, plus upload CCUs as well. Beyond 2 months, Srinath's name will not appear in registry. So if someone searches for Srinath's name in ICF registry, my name won't appear, right? And you can't use ACC or PCC next to your name after the expiry of 2 months. More importantly, but again, they got a grace period of another 10 months from that period. But then the whole thing is that for every month from the period of expiry, you must add 1.2 units to the 40 CCUs which you have already, which is mandatory anyway. So, for example, if you are submitting something in month 6 from the expiry date, you must submit 4 into 1.2, 6 into 1.2, probably around 10 to 8 additional 50, probably 50 CCU or 55 CCUs if you're submitting it sometime in September, October. Right? But again, request to all of you, please, do this on a regular basis. One, upload all your credentials as soon as you get your, upload your certificates onto the application. As soon as you get your CCUs from your respective chapters, and submit it. You can submit your application for credential renewal up to 10 months from a date of expiry, right? Like the example of April, let's say you could submit your application for renewal probably by September, October last year, right? And typically they take about 6 to 8 weeks for renewal, processing your renewal application. And if you're delayed further, let's say you are in the 2 months category, expiry 2 months category, they probably take even 10 to 12 weeks because you are the lowest priority for them.
So it's what I'm understanding is it's better that when you are somewhere above 2 years or into your credential, it's a good time to start looking at sending in that application, which means
2.5 years is an ideal time,
yeah,
right? Before, let's say, take an example of, let's say, expiring in May. Start the whole process by January, February. Ensure you get all CCUs in time, right? Because 6 to 8 weeks is minimum. They can take even more depending on how busy they are.
which means 1 year down the line into your credential journey, where I am right now, is the right time to begin to collect the CCUs. Would that be okay to say?
You could collect CCUs moment you even finish credential.
Oh,
While
I
1 year
didn't
down the
know
line.
that, right? Yeah. Yeah. So Shelly's also here. Shelly, you recently renewed your credentials or are in the process of renewing them. Would you like to share your experience or add to this conversation?
So honestly speaking, Shweta, I woke up a little late, but I was still on time to catch the bus. So in fact, I'm ready for submission of my CCUs very soon. And I've completed the study aspect of it. I've completed the mentoring from Regal. I've completed the one-on-ones that I had to. So all of that is done. I've completed the ethics course as well. I just need to click on that particular button at the time when I'm completing the period where it has to be get renewed. So that's about it. Otherwise, all the other part of the homework has been done, and it's been amazing a journey throughout from Regal, especially because I've had the support of the best of the mentors here. So I would honestly urge if every one of us, especially people who are there in this group and are looking for ACC renewals, please catch hold of the mentors in Regal. They'll be more than happy to support you in this particular journey and give you that correct guidance which we need at this point in time. Otherwise, when I started off with the idea of renewal, I was totally lost. So yeah.
Thank you for sharing. So the lostness, I feel, has gone now. If anyone else has any questions, feel free to put it in the chat or raise your hand or just unmute yourself and ask. In the meantime, I also want to ask you, since Shelly mentioned, and you also added the 10 hours of mentoring, Srinath, that Regal provides, that our mentors provide. Could you kind of enlighten us on how to go about that in addition to the CCUs for the renewal process?
Yeah, so you can approach Regal. There are a lot of these, they approach Regal for this. Typically, what they say is mentoring requires at least 7 hours of group coaching and 3 hours of one-to-one coaching. It will also mean one-to-one, all 10 hours of one-to-one coaching, but typically that's what they say. So approach Regal, anyone can approach Regal for the mentoring, and they'll provide a certificate saying that this person has completed mentoring hours, 10 hours mentoring with us between, let's say, February 1st to April 30th. And that certificate was uploaded onto your application as well to complete your application process.
So also this 10 hours of mentoring, is there a time period that you have to do it in 3 months?
It's about 3 months. Within 3 months, yes. 3 months is mandatory.
So it has to be spread over 3 months.
Exactly, spread over 3 months.
Right. Okay. So
The certificate must clearly say that.
Right. Okay. So you can contact Regal if you'd like mentoring. Of course, there are other mentors out there, but we are Regal fans because we've experienced the kind of support and community that Regal provides. So you can reach out to Sonia or me, or kind of just go to the Regal website, or find Srinath or find Subhash, find us on LinkedIn, just send in a message and one of us will reach out to you. So that's the way that you can actually get into the mentoring hours also. What else is there? Anything else that...
So just to clarify, Shweta, mentoring hours is only for a requirement for ACC, not for PCC or MCC.
Super.
Right? If you're PCC, all you need to do is get the 40 CCUs, right? And you are done.
Fantastic. Thank you for that clarity. Anything else, Srinath, you think we missed out on? Or guys, does anyone here have any questions?
Any questions from others? Let's hear from others as well. Not seeing.
I think, I don't know whether this has already got covered, but Shweta, would you like to share about the recent events which are coming up, which will help people get these 38 CCUs if they attend them?
Yeah, we did speak about that. Srinath did
Okay,
mention
maybe I
that
missed it.
we have
Yeah.
Coaching Unlimited. Thank you for asking again, Shelly. We have Coaching Unlimited coming up in Colombo, 1st to 4th May. It's a great way to earn 38 CCUs and 3 CCUs, like Srinath said, you can go get from Coaching Ethics. So that covers your 40 CCUs. Is that correct, Srinath? I'm getting better at calculating CCUs because before this conversation, I couldn't do the math of, oh, what is RD? Oh, what is, it kind of sounds very complicated. But thanks to Srinath today, I think we all have a lot of clarity. And if you don't, well, we still have about 3-4 minutes to go. We can take up 1 or 2 questions. Anyone? I don't think so. It doesn't look like. So I think we're kind of at the end of today's conversation.
We can just wait a couple of questions. Any other questions? Or any doubts on renewals?
Srinath, for mentoring, we need to have some reflective journaling or some data point or something, no? Or something we need to make some write-up or something before the mentoring?
No. So all you need to get mentoring, all they need is a mentoring certificate from your mentor saying that Satyajit has completed 10 hours mentoring with us from 1st April 2025 to 30th June 2025, 3-month period.
No, that point I got it, but to
Yeah.
have a quality mentoring, do I need to maintain something, send some recording, or that's
Yeah.
how
So
we do?
typically, again, mentoring, group mentoring and individual mentoring looks at your recordings and then gives feedback on your recordings, on the sessions you have done so far, right? Or even stress on the core competencies per se.
So at least one recording is required, right?
Yeah, they look at recordings as well. They go through recording. So various ways are there doing this. Group coaching, group mentoring takes care of that. So let's say you have some recording, or even have a session live, and then mentors will provide you feedback on that.
Yeah, I think Srinath, just wanting to clarify what Satyajit asked, it's not a mandatory thing. It's one of the things that you can do in order to get the certificate. And to your point of, already been writing a journal, Satyajit, that's not a mandatory thing for you to start looking at mentoring as an option.
Yeah, well, Shelly, the mentoring hours are mandatory, right? 10 hours are mandatory.
Yes, those are mandatory, of course.
So that certificate is also
For
mandatory.
ACCs. For ACC renewal,
ACC.
yes.
Yeah, but if someone goes for a PCC within 3 years, then the whole dimension changes.
Yeah. So I forgot to mention that. Thanks for bringing it up, Satyajit. So let's say in the last year of your ACC credential, you want to go for PCC, right? So then your 40 CCUs, your application for credential renewal is put on hold, and your PCC application is taken up. And then you got one more year from that period to either complete or get your PCC, or otherwise you must get ACC credential renewed in the meantime. Right? So it's 1 year from the period of applying for PCC.
That is the third year, right? The fourth year is an extension period. So in that PCC
Yeah,
will
right.
not be.
So in case you do even earlier, that's fine. I'm just saying that you got a 1 year extension in case you're going for higher credential.
Srinath, one more point, that the ICF membership has to be continued. That's a separate option, right? I mean, that's a separate.
So it is preferable to continue ICF membership, because then the rates for renewal.
Only the price.
So it's $170 for renewal. Yeah.
So only the pricing is also better to continue ICF. Right?
Yeah. So we at Regal always say that please have your ICF membership on, so that you get all the benefits of membership.
Okay. And Regal offers some discounts also. Mine is expiring on 30th.
Yeah. So please be an on live ICF member. Get all the benefits besides all learning portals, besides attending webinars. All those are benefits you get by being an ICF.
Thanks.
Besides, to add to that point, if you're not a member, then you can't access, can you? Those what you showed, the learning, you can't access.
You can't. Yeah.
So there's no point not being a member, because then you don't get
but then you could get CCUs elsewhere, right? So
yeah,
CCU getting elsewhere, or attending the webinars, for example.
Choice.
Yeah, I know. It's just a choice.
Whatever works better for you.
Correct.
Because there was this whole conversation on people selling CCUs, even when they're asking you to come and pay them for a certain number of CCUs for exam preparation. And that's also a point that I was having a conversation with Subhash, and with you also, remember, we're talking about if you are training with an institute like Regal, where you are getting your proper mentorship hours, where you have done your 100 hours, where you've gotten mentored on recordings, then what is the need for you to go to another person to pay them extra? Well, you have money, sure, please do that. But there is actually no need for you to do that.
Exactly.
What Srinath is sharing, CCUs are available freely on, that's the whole reason why we're doing this today, to make you aware that you don't need to go and spend extra money for that. Train with a better institute. If you're getting a mentoring hours, do it with someone who is going to add to your skill set, because that's what you're going to use further in your profession. Thank you
so much.
Thank you everyone for joining.
Thank you, Shweta. Thank you, Shelly. Thank you all very much.